ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا بكم مرة تانية طلبة وطالبات الصف الثالث الإعدادي. النهاردة هنكمل مع بعض منهجنا وهنشتغل النهاردة في كتاب الأكتيفيتي. هنحل مع بعض أسئلة يونت نمبر 17 Animal Life in the Past. Exercise number 1 match to make sentences. Match to make sentences. Dinosaurs are animals with number G which have died out. Number 2, a meteorite is a rock. A meteorite is a rock. طبعا which comes from space. يبقى a meteorite is a rock which comes from space. This is with number E. If something probably happened. If something probably happened. يبقى ده you think it happened but you are not sure. يبقى أنت تعتقد إن هو حصل لكن you are not sure. Dust is something. Dust is something. طبعا which comes from volcano. Which comes from volcano. يبقى this is number H. If a volcano erupted. If a volcano erupted. What would happen? طبعا you would see smoke and fire. You would see smoke and fire. When an animal dies out, لما بينقرض طبعا you will not see it again. You will not see it again. This is number C. If water is cool, it is not warm. It is not warm. Is number B. If Aya and Dina both got 65% in the exam, يبقى طبعا they passed. Is number A. Exercise number 2. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the verb in brackets to make third conditional sentences. If Mona had remembered to bring her phone, she would have called you. If Ali read the book, he would know what happened at the end. If Ali had read the book, he would have known. طبعا third conditional. He would have known what happened at the end. Sammy wouldn't have played basketball if he forgot to bring the ball. If he had forgotten if I not see the camera in the shop, we wouldn't buy it. If we hadn't, طبعا past participle of see is seen. If we hadn't seen that camera in the shop, we wouldn't have bought it. If Mr. Elbaz catch the plane this morning, يبقى طبعا هنا hadn't. التصريف الثالث لcatch caught the plane this morning, he would have been in Paris now. if Mr. الباز معلش سوري انا جت ما شفت نوت معرفش منين. if Mr. الباز had caught the plane this morning, he would have been in Paris by now. Exercise number 3, answer the questions. What would you have worn if it had rained yesterday? يبقى عايزة أعمل الجملة بقى، يبقى if it had rained yesterday, comma, I'd have worn مثلا a coat. Number 2, if your mother had been ill all the weekend, what would you have done? يبقى تبقى طبعا if my mother had been ill at the weekend, comma, يبقى I'd have مثلا done the housework. Number 3, what would you have said to the teacher if you had forgotten to bring in your homework? يبقى if I had forgotten to bring my homework, comma, I'd have said sorry. يبقى I would have said sorry to my teacher or to the teacher. دلوقتي هنتنقل ل lesson 2 في الاكتيفيتي. And your question, how many animals can you name that live in Egypt? Which of the quiz question in student book page number 44 surprised you most? Why? وده طبعا هتجيبوها انتوا مع نفسكم. Exercise number 2, complete the sentences. The Stone Age was about 8,000 years ago. Is important because it gives us food to eat. طبعا هنا ايه؟ الفارمينج. طبعا الفارمينج اللي هي الزراعة. يبقى farming is important because it gives us food to eat. We need to protect many of our animals if we do not want them to طبعا die out. يبقى لازم نراهم لو احنا مش عايزينهم ينقرضوا. Yasin stopped and rested in when he was climbing the mountain. يبقى توقف وريح فين وهو بيتسلق الجبل؟ طبعا in a cave. The fishermen keep their equipment in small wooden on the beach. يبقى طبعا small wooden huts. Exercise number 3, choose the correct word to complete the dialogue. I am reading a book about the Ice Age. This was a time when it was very cold and a lot of the earth was ice. When was the last big ice age? When was the last big ice age? The last big ice age ended about 11,000 years ago. The earth became warmer almost or first 10,000 years ago. يبقى طبعا هنا تبقى ايه؟ Almost about. This is when most of the ice melted. In, around, or around. طبعا sorry in, round, or around. يبقى in, around 150. A scientist called Louis Agassiz was the first person to study the ice age carefully. Did people live in the ice age? I think that people lived in the ice age from or at maybe 15,000 years ago. يبقى ايه؟ Maybe. Exercise number 4, write what you would say in each of the following. A friend asks you when the first car was made. طبعا you are not sure about your answer فهنستخدم الكلمات اللي بتدل على الاحتمال. يبقى هنا what question number 1 يبقى a friend asks you when the first car was made. يبقى هنبتدي نكتب الإجابة. يبقى I think it was made maybe 150 years ago. Number 2, your cousins asks you when your school was built. يبقى ممكن I think it was built about وهحط بقى أي رقم about مثلا 50 years ago. Your teacher asks you for the age of the oldest part of Cairo. This was built around 1000 CE. هنا هو مديني الإجابة يبقى هنبتدي نقول إيه؟ يبقى it was built. It was built in around 1000 CE. Now we will move to the last lesson. Complete the sentences. Complete the sentences. عندي هنا begin, beginning, build, building, cause. Number 1, what was the cause of the accident outside the museum? وناخد بالنا من كلمة cause of اللي هي سبب ليه بتساوي كلمة reason بس reason تاخد معاها preposition for. يعني cause of بتساوي reason for. The of the book was boring but the end was very exciting. طبعا ده ايه؟ the beginning of the book was boring but the end was very exciting. How long did it take them to the Catherine Neal Bridge? يبقى طبعا to build. Tomorrow's lesson will at 10:30. يبقى will begin. طبعا إنها infinitive. The hotel is the tallest in the city. يبقى طبعا is the tallest building in the city. طبعا هنا بيقول لي work in pair وده طبعا عبارة عن quiz. بيقول لي what was the Petrosaurus like. طبعا واعملها لي بيقول لي like a large bird. About how many years ago did it live. فطبعا المفروض نشوف ايه، هنسمع listening يعني هنختار الإجابة وهنشوف listening. What wouldn't it have been able to do if it hadn't a long neck. يعني لو كانتش عندها long neck ايه اللي ما كانتش هتقدر تعمله. drink water, catch fish, climb trees or fly. Where have people found fossils of the Petrosaurus? Europe and Africa, Asia, America, Australia. يبقى أنا بختار وبعد كده هنسمع listening. طبعا listening بيقول لي Petrosaurus looked like large birds. They lived approximately 100 million years ago. 100 million years ago. They had big wings and a long neck. If they hadn't had a long neck, they wouldn't have been able to catch fish. People have found fossils of Petrosaurus in many places, including Europe and Africa. Now, let's look at the exercise. يبقى عندي نهوت يبقى about how many years ago did it live؟ يبقى طبعا 100 million. What wouldn't have been able to do if it hadn't had a long neck؟ يبقى catch fish. Where have people found fossils of the Petrosaurus؟ يبقى طبعا in Europe and Africa. طبعا عندي آخر حاجة بيقول لي write the answers to the quiz questions. Check your answer to exercise number 2. Use the correct answers to write a text about Petrosaurus, including an opening paragraph and one of two or two paragraphs with more information and a conclusion. Include an example of the bird conditional of the third conditional if possible. يبقى مطلوب مني ان انا اكتب باراجراف عن البتروسورس باستخدام المعلومات الموجوده في الاكسرسايز السابق، وده طبعا انتوا هتكتبوه مع نفسكم. وبكده يكون انتهى درسنا النهارده. اتمنى انكم تكونوا استفدتم. Until we meet again, goodbye and good luck.